So you run your business and it's starting to slow down and you're looking for ways to scale it. You're looking for ways to take it to the next level. And what does everybody say? Facebook ads, right? Everyone says Facebook ads are the new thing, or advertising, or social media. But the biggest thing is Facebook, right? This is the biggest mistake I see a lot of businesses do, is they pour way too much money into Facebook ads before they're ready. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Douglas, you say, you need to put at least $50 a day into Facebook ads. Yes, you do. But without the right strategy, without the right ads, you're really wasting that money. And I hate to see that happen, okay? So what I wanna break down in this video is some of the biggest mistakes that I see businesses make when they first get started on Facebook ads. Because here's the deal. Let's say you've determined, yes, absolutely, it's right for me to start doing Facebook ads. I'm ready, I wanna get started. Great. Don't fuck it up, okay? So I wanna give you the outlines of what to do when you're spending your money, because we've generated hundreds of leads a month for our clients, our home service clients here in Phoenix, okay? So I wanna break it down for you. Let's get right into it. So I got all this stuff here from the last video. Let's just wipe that off. Okay, now here's the thing. Facebook ads are awesome once you figure out how to get them to work. But until then, it's gambling, all right? I love to gamble. I like to go to the casino and I put money in and I go a little bit. And then if nothing happens, I move on to the next thing, okay? And I put more money in and I go a little bit and I move on to the next thing. Usually like $2 bets and $20 my threshold. Look, I'm not like woo-woo rubbing the machine and shit, but I do think there's a strategy to it, okay? And if I can leave when I'm ahead, I can make money. But Facebook ads are kind of similar. Like you have control of the inputs, but not the outputs. And what that means is you have control over the quality of your ad, the copy, the targeting, the demographics, the spend, all of those things. You have control over those. But the outcome is based on the inputs. And so optimizing or setting the goal for leads is kind of a hard thing to do, but you can optimize these things that I'm gonna talk about in the video. And if you get those right, then the second thing's right. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully it does. So I wanna talk about the three things that we need to optimize. And the first thing is our creative. This is probably the biggest thing. The creative is the number one thing that you need to optimize when you're running Facebook ads. What does that mean? Okay, well, your creative is the thing that people see. So when they are scrolling on Facebook, the creative is the thing that they see, and it needs to be designed to stop, grab their attention, and communicate your message. So if there's three indicators there, right? Stop the scroll, okay? Communicate, and inspire. You want to inspire them to take action. And these are the three things that your ad creative needs to do. Your ad creative has to achieve these three things, or it's not going to be a very good creative, okay? And how do you do these three things? If your goal is to grab their attention, if your goal is to communicate what you're trying to accomplish and inspire them to take action, it's a lot easier to do in a video. That's just how it is. Like, it is just so much easier to explain these things in a video. Why? Because with a picture, you can only fit so much stuff on the picture. You can only fit, a picture of a guy, you can fit some text, you can fit some more text here, you can fit a $sign with the money and maybe 5 stars. You can fit shit like this on a picture. The person has to have the attention span to dive deep and look at the little $sign and read the little text, and you're asking them a lot to do this. You're asking a lot in the picture. And so maybe the picture is really good and it stops and grabs their attention. How effectively is it going to communicate your offer, what you're trying to get them to understand? How effectively can this picture inspire them to take action? Now, there's ways to do it right, absolutely. And in my ads, I definitely mix in pictures, especially for awareness campaigns and likes campaigns. But for lead generation, it's a lot harder to do because you don't have the same attention span. So what do? My recommendation is a video. Why? Because you've got up to like 60 seconds. Now, if you can keep it under 15 and accomplish what you need to accomplish in 15 seconds, like absolutely do that, okay? Absolutely. Do it in as little time as possible. But you have up to 60. And so if you can hook their attention and get them to stop, and you can communicate what you're trying to offer in 60 seconds, that's really easy to do. And you can inspire them to take action in 60 seconds, that's really easy to do. So my argument here is that the better the creative, the better your advertising. You're going to stop making these mistakes, because the biggest mistake I see with business owners is their creative sucks. They do a picture and then they wonder why nobody engages with it. And the picture is not even something that inspires them to take action or is even clear what the hell the offer is about. So there's just, number one, fix the creative, make a video. Now, this is very biased of me, right? I make videos for businesses, and that's not because I'm the damn video guy. Like I'm half decent at video, but that's not like my love language, you know? It works the best right now. Now, that is absolutely gonna change. Don't know when it's gonna change, but it's gonna change. But for now, that's what it is. And so that's what we're leaning into, because that's what's working. I don't care. If it was pictures, trust me, I can make a lot more money because they're a lot easier to produce. Like Canva is cheap and everyone knows how to use it. And that's why they don't stand out. That's exactly why. Like, your content is so saturated because the barrier to entry to create a Canva graphic and run that as an ad is very, very, very low. So you're running your same Canva graphic against somebody else's, probably the same template. Like, it's just shit. It doesn't work. You've got to stand out. And videos do that, okay? The second thing that, the second biggest mistake that I see business owners make when they're running Facebook ads that in turn makes them waste money is their spend. Now, yesterday, this is hot on my mind because I made a whole ass video yesterday explaining just this piece of it. Just this piece right here. I just broke it down and rambled about it for a long time. But essentially, watch that video for more explanation. But essentially, without enough spend, you're not giving Facebook enough data to test. And like, we go back to that casino example. If I put in $1 and I do a $1 bet, I've got one chance for that to work, right? If I put in $100 and I do a $1 bet, I've got 100 chances for that to work, right? And now, obviously, risk versus reward, there's a lot that goes into that, but it's the same with your ads. Like, I'm sorry to equate it to a casino, but that's really how it works, especially when you're doing it yourself and you don't have any understanding of like previous successes and things like that. Like, that's just how it works. Like, I'm sorry, okay? But your spend, minimum, you should spend $50 a day. If you can go up to 100 a day, and then eventually 200 a day, and then 500 a day, like, life is going to be pretty good. But the thing at each of these stages is figuring out how whatever you put in, you get something out. And, you know, a 10x ROAS is really good. Some people are happy with the 3. I wouldn't be very happy with 3, but some people are happy with the 3. A 5 is okay. You could go for 10. Life is pretty good. And essentially what you're trying to figure out with these is like, hey, every time I put in $50, how do I get 500 back? Or how do I get 100 back? Because if it's every time I'm putting in $50, I'm getting 40 back, that's not good unless there's an offer on the back end and there's like a long-term thing that goes into it. You got to figure that out. And here's the kicker, is if you're spending $5 and your customer's worth $100 or your customer's worth $500 or something like that, you're selling these big products, you're selling these services, like paying $5 to get a lead is pretty unlikely unless you like, I mean, we get that on some of our stuff because we've got it super optimized, but it's not super likely. Like, you should be planning on $20 to $50 for your leads. If you're only spending $5 and let's say you're getting your leads at $50, that's 10 days that ad's running before you get one lead. That lead is probably not good. Let's say that 1 in 10 are good and you close another 10%. Just throwing worst case numbers out there. That's not good because you're gonna have to spend months before you get one deal off of that. And you're like, oh my God, Facebook sucks. Like, you need to ramp that up because you need to learn quickly. If you go long enough and your ROI is high as fuck, you need to fix something. You need to fix your ad. You need to fix your creative. You need to fix your offer. Like and you can't wait to figure that out because your competition is destroying you. So spend is the second thing. The most business owners, like, yes, they waste money on ads because they're not spending enough. They take too long to learn. They take too long to change things and split test and get the data needed to really optimize their ads so that they can turn it into like some kind of money printing machine like that. Now, number 3 is obvious, right? Number 3 is the copy that you write. And this is kind of the secret right now. So I hope you guys appreciate me. But number 3 is your copy. And your copy is what makes people, it's what they read, right? So you've got your ad here, you got your name, blah, blah, blah. And then right here is your copy, all this text. And if they click a button, it can expand down and like be a lot of copy, all right? And this is something that I used to ignore. So I used to think, okay, yeah, well, it's all about the video. We're doing a video, they're gonna watch the video. And this isn't true. The video's goal is to hook the attention and give a rough idea of what you're talking about and inspire them a little bit. But the copy is a continuation of that. The copy is designed to motivate them and take action. And so when I do captions for social media, I don't go super in depth with it. I write like 5 or 6 words. Hashtags don't matter, none of that matters, but it blends with the video. But when you're writing an ad, the copy is way more important than I thought, because once I started switching the copy, we went from like a $20 cost per lead down to a $5 or $6 cost per lead because the copy was long using this special format. Okay, and I'm gonna break down the format. It's kind of level 202, but whatever, you guys take this, run with it, put it in ChatGPT, whatever you want to do. But first thing, you need to do a call out, right? Everyone says hook, story, offer, call out. Then you need to, hold on. First, you're gonna call them out, and then you're gonna kind of present the offer. So, but you're not gonna do it all the way. Offer, throw rocks, take away, present the offer, and then you're gonna say like contingent kind of. All right, this is kind of the structure of your copy. And you want it to be written line by line by line by line by line. You want to use, they're called kinda like bridges, leading hooks, and stories. Okay, there we go. So kind of like bridges are like the casino, for example. Hey, are you tired of wasting money on Facebook ads? It's kind of like walking into a casino and pouring hundreds of dollars into a machine that's not hitting, right? Boom, that kind of like connects what you're saying, right? That kind of like connects what you're trying to allude to, all right? The leading hooks lead into the next section. So are you tired of wasting money on Facebook ads? It kind of feels like it's kind of like walking into a casino and pouring a bunch of money into a slot machine that's not working. But once I figured out this one secret, everything changed. Okay, and now that leading hook, the one secret, you're like, okay, well, what is the one secret, right? It's leading you and hooking you in. And then stories, walking into the casino, things like that, very visual, works good. And it's line by line and it's following the structure. Like this is probably way too in depth, but fuck it, we ball. So call out. A good example, like I'll do backyard outdoor living, right? Are you tired of your yard looking like shit? What's the offer? We've been building backyards in Phoenix for over 20 years. The problem is most companies get it, or most people start a business like this, they don't have any licensing, they're not bonded, they're not insured, and they have no idea what they're doing. The problem is, this offer is probably not for you anyway, because it's kind of expensive. Here's the deal. We'll come to your yard, we'll install this, we'll do this, but it might not be a good fit. Click the button below to find out if it is. So you're like, you can't, if you sound desperate, you suck. And in your ad, if you sound desperate, you extra suck. And because like people can smell that, right? So you want to present it in a way that comes from an authoritative place. Hey, here's what we do. Here's what sucks about what you're trying to do. Here's an offer that we have, but this offer isn't for everybody. Like the whole premise, like this has changed my life on making videos, on making ads, on just everything, right? Create curiosity wherever you can, especially when you have a call to action. Call to action is click the button below to learn more. Like they need to have a compelling reason to do that. And if they're not curious about what happens when they do it, there's no reason for them to do it. There's absolutely no reason. So when you break it down, create curiosity around your offer, around if it's a good fit, around a big mistake they might make, something like that. You need to have a promise of some kind of payoff like that. So when you do your copy in this kind of structure, it flows a lot better, and it gets them inspired and gets them to actually take action, which is why you're running the damn ad in the first place. You're running the ad so that they click the button and learn more, so that you get their information. But what the fuck are they learning more about if they don't have a reason to? So in your copy, that's what you're doing. Like those three things really, your ad spend, your creative, and your copy are the three big pieces of running Facebook ads. And until you figure out each piece, there's quite a few more, but until you figure out each piece, it's always gonna feel like you're just putting money into a slot machine that sucks. And that's not a good feeling, because if you can optimize it, you can get everything figured out, you can get a higher return, right? So that's my hot take on Facebook ads. Hopefully this was helpful. If you need help with your business, this is what we do for local businesses. We implement this, we film the videos, we post them, we create the lead magnets, we do all of that stuff. But we can't do it with every business. So click the button below, there's a discovery call, learn more, see if it's a good fit for you. And I do tons of videos like this. So if you're trying to learn about all of this nonsense, watch all the content. It's all free, and it took me lots of time and money to figure it out. So we'll see you guys in the next video.